Hello there, Natalie here, and today I'm going to be talking about how to find inner peace through unconditional positive regard. So, in this video, you are going to learn how to find inner peace through taking responsibility for your own state of being. You're going to learn how to better interact with others in your life to reduce conflict, and some simple ways to reframe your thoughts to have a better outlook on life overall. So these simple concepts are going to give you a great new perspective on life and have the potential for creating long-term inner peace. All right, so let's get started. Getting rid of blame. This is an extremely important first step into finding inner peace. As long as you give your power to something outside of you, you are never going to be able to control it. The only thing you can truly control is your inner state. You can only control you. So if you're constantly trying to create peace in your life by changing everything on the outside, it's not going to work. Blaming other people and other things, maybe your boss is putting a lot of pressure on you and you've got a lot of deadlines, your husband or wife has been nagging at you, the kids just won't be quiet, they're running around and creating a chaotic environment. You can blame those things, but it's not going to change anything. It really isn't. You can say, I would be so much happier and I would be so much calmer and my life would be at so much more peace if all of these things would change. But in reality, it wouldn't. So we've got to stop blaming other things outside of ourselves and start taking responsibility for who we are and the world we've created and the state we've created inside of ourselves. You could say, gosh, if I just got rid of all that chaos, it would be so much easier and I'd be at peace. But if you went to some tropical island, you were laying on the beach and everything was calm around you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have that state of inner peace. You don't necessarily end up becoming peaceful that way. You may, but you might be sitting on that beach and all you could be doing is running thoughts in your heads of, oh gosh, I forgot to do this, or oh my gosh, I still have this going on. And as long as you've got that inner talk that's negative and overwhelming and irrational, you're not going to find that state of peace. And just the opposite is true. You can have chaos going on around you, bombs can be going off, your life could be falling apart, but if you change the way you feel about life and how you approach these difficult life situations, if you completely change how you look at the world and how you look at other people and let go of judgment, chaos can be going on around you, but you can be in a state of inner peace. So, number one is stop blaming and start taking responsibility for your own life. Unconditional positive regard. So unconditional positive regard was developed by Carl Rogers, a psychologist, and it means respect and accept people regardless of what they have said or done. Okay, so this may be a tough one to wrap your head around at first, but it really does make sense when you break it down. So we all want to be respected and accepted, and that's what we should be giving to others and to ourselves. Now, say someone does something, maybe they verbally abuse you, you get into a fight, someone did something, negative towards you. We all need to come into agreement that no one has bad intentions. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy at first, but stay with me for a moment. No one is born with the intention to be a bad person. No one comes out of the womb wanting to hurt other people. It just doesn't work that way. People do bad things and they hurt other people or break laws and do things like that because of their own internal pain. It's a reaction to the pain that they're in. So even if you feel like someone did something very specific to hurt you, it doesn't necessarily mean it was because of you. They may say that, oh yeah, I did this because I don't like you or for whatever reason. But what's really going on is that person is in so much pain on the inside that they had to lash out and project that to something on the outside, and you happen to be the one that got in the way. So if we can understand that and have some empathy for everyone, because we've all been in pain, we all know what it's like to be hurting. We've got to let go of judging other people and just understand that we all go through our own crap sometimes, right? Okay, so there's no way of knowing what's really going on with someone else. You have no idea. You may think you know what someone else is thinking, but you don't. You don't know what's going on in their head every second of every day from the time they were born to this present moment. You have no clue what someone else's internal psyche is and how complex it is and what their beliefs are and what their pains are and how their psychology works. So since you can never truly understand anyone, it's important to have unconditional positive regard. Because the second you start to judge someone else, you put up barriers. You project your own thoughts, you project your own labels onto someone else, and then you cut off that communication. And then once you've projected those things onto someone else, they don't want to communicate back with you either. So when you come from a place of unconditional positive regard, you're coming from a place of peace and centeredness. And when you're in that place of being centered and letting go of judgment, you can actually think clearly and problem solve better. You can come to some rational conclusions, and you're going to realize that what you actually need to do in, person-to-person conflict is to start asking more questions. Because since we can't be in someone else's head and we really have no clue exactly what's going on with someone else or the reasons they do the things that they do, we have to start asking more questions. And through asking a lot of questions to hopefully better understand, the person or the situation that you're in conflict with, then we can come to some actual conclusions. So here are a few useful ways to start creating more inner peace in your life. Be calm and centered. This is a big one. And I know it sounds easier said than done, but when you understand that when you're in a calm place and you're very centered within yourself, you're letting go of all that judgment, you actually are able to connect into your brain the most evolved part of your brain that allows you to think critically and problem solve better. You'll end up having more empathy, you'll be in the present moment, and your communication will be nonviolent. When you're not calm and centered in those moments of conflict, when you're upset and some pain has been triggered within you, someone's done something, you're in a situation that really bothers you, we lose that connection to that evolved part of our brain that allows us to think critically and problem solve well. And instead, we are triggered into fight, flight, or freeze. So we end up reacting from the part of our brain that is in fear. And it doesn't allow us to deal with life in a peaceful way. So once we start to really understand that, as we start to practice inner peace, we become more evolved as human beings. We become more evolved in our communication skills, and we become more effective, more efficient, and more mature. It's important to learn how to hold the space for other people, because again, you can't change someone else. The only thing you can do is change you, right? So you want to be the one who's creating that space, creating the container for any difficult situation. And by doing that, it's being calm and centered and letting go of judgment. And then it allows you and whoever else is involved in these situations to find that place of inner peace and resolve things much more quickly, much more peacefully, let go of the drama, and just find that place of happiness. Have faith that all will work out. So, have you had some experiences, maybe some dramatic moments in the last few weeks, the last year, maybe remember something from 5 years ago or 10 years ago? And when you had that dramatic moment, or maybe it was multiple moments, maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a job, when you were going through all that drama, was it really worth it? Are you holding on to some of those old feelings of sadness or resentment or fear or hate towards someone else? All you need to do is learn to reframe those moments. Okay, so this is going to be part of the practice of finding your inner peace, is looking back at some of the past moments of your life and how could you have done things differently. First, we just want to notice those moments, okay? This is the time when you can actually start doing a little bit of journaling. Maybe do this on a nightly basis or in the morning or a couple times a week if you can. But start to pull back some moments that were pretty dramatic for you. Any kind of extreme emotion that you might still be holding on to, or you just remember that you wish you had done something different in those situations. You're going to write down what those moments were, how you felt, write down any thoughts and feelings that were going on with you, and then you're going to take a moment to reflect on that and look at the situation from a few different point of views. Now, what could you have done differently? How could you have come to that situation without judgment? You know, what are some possibilities that might have been going on with the other person in the situation? How, you know, what could you have done differently? And if that situation arised again, what would you want to change? This journal time is where you're going to really get your clarity. This is the time when you are actually going to start to reframe your thinking patterns and reframe how you approach life. Because as we all know, when we come into those moments of conflict, when someone attacks us or we're under a lot of stress or something happens and we're running late and, you know, you spilled your coffee all over you and the kids are yelling and you're, you know, it's just crazy, right? It's really difficult if you haven't put into practice anything to create inner peace to suddenly in the moment expect yourself to be a different person. But by doing the inner work, by reflecting back on past situations and figuring out how you could have done things differently, and then now you know, you start to create some inner change, some inner awareness. By creating a conscious awareness of who you are and what your patterns are, you can then start to change. And then as you evolve, you can go back and say, oh, okay, this is what I would have done in that situation. Hey, it's coming up again, and now you know how to deal with it differently. Or maybe you can do on a nightly basis. What was everything that happened today? Or what was everything that happened yesterday that I could have dealt with differently? And then you can start to attack things and break it down quicker and sooner and faster. And then it starts to really change your own being. Now, it's also important to start accepting yourself for who you are. I know in this situation we've kind of been talking about not judging other people, but don't forget to be easy on yourself too. You know, we've created these patterns in our life that have gone on for years and years and years. And you may not have been aware of some of your patterns until now. Or maybe you're not aware of some of your patterns until a week or two from now, once you started to do some of the journaling. But either way, be easy on yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Change takes time and it takes some effort, but it is completely worth it. You'll notice some amazing changes in your life if you start to apply some of these things. So, I hope you've learned some wonderful tactics on how to start changing your life and creating more inner peace. Learning how to deal with some of these conflicting situations and start to reframe your mindset on how to approach life and how to come from a different space. Because the more you start practicing inner peace and coming from a place of abundance, a place of everything in life is as it should be, and everything is constantly moving forward in a positive direction, it will completely change your outlook. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and gotten some wonderful things out of it. If you like this video, please like it. I would love to see your comments, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get updates on all of my upcoming videos. I've been posting a couple of videos a week, so there's lots of great stuff to come. And I've also put in the description of this video a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy that kind of have a similar message or work synergistically with this and really help to kind of build on all of these life coaching concepts that can really help improve your life from the inside out. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you staying tuned for this entire video. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Please share and enjoy.